tercet by tercet.
Uh-oh.
How should we do that? Do you want to, I used to assume that we were all using the same book, but we could do it page by page. Or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's complicated, right?
Yeah.
How about we do 3 tersets?
What if we went in
time, instead of just-
alphabetical? I have an idea. What if we went in alphabetical order?
No, just how much will we read?
Well, the people reading Italian could do however many, but the people alternating could just go in alphabetical order. Is that possible?
What, like you're saying, one tercet, and then the next person would read the next tercet, and then the next person, and it
But
just
I
go
think-
round robin.
But it's yeah, maybe. So AJ, can you write the names like Anne, then Ann M, then Dee, then Duncan, then John, then Tim in that order, so we can.
No, it's your turn.
What?
Actually, we have a list. AJ has already made a list for us. And I think the primary decision is just decide how many tersets we want to read at a time.
Okay, that may be more sensible.
Okay, so for example, if we want to just do one tercet, then Didi would read the tercet, one tercet in Italian. And then Anne Doyle would read the tercet in English,
Yeah.
and then we would pause. So the question is, do we want to go with 1, 2, or 3 tercets to begin? That's all. This
Let's
is not
do
a
3 just for flow.
3. You want to do 3?
Just for flow. Otherwise, it might get really choppy.
Okay, how about for flow, stopping at the end of a sentence rather than in the middle of a sentence? Or
Do
even
that.
a whole quotation and doing a whole quotation. But I think maybe stopping at the end of a sentence is enough.
You do that.
So it will vary. Like the first 2 verses are one sentence. The next 2 verses are one sentence. The next 2 verses are one sentence. Then there are 3 verses for a sentence.
You know, I hate to say it, but in this particular case, I think we need to find a simple way. And the simplest way, just like we do in the Sweeney's readings, is and some of the things, wait, we just stop. Even if it's in the middle of sentence.
I really don't like that, the way we do it at Sweeney's. I go anyway because I love reading it. But having it make sense, having come to the end of the thought before you talk about it, seems to me important.
I'll be blunt, in the sense that, much of our readings, we are reading things in English and in Italian that don't necessarily make sense until we discuss them.
Well, I thought we were going to discuss after every.
Yes, every third one. And I would say, now, let's see how consistent that is. Yeah, see, because in some cases, the complete sentence is in 3 tersets.
But that's right,
some
that's what I
cases it's in
just said.
4 tersets. And
I mean,
I'm willing to try anything, but I'm not
I
confident
think
about that
when
at all.
people read it, they don't even know they get to the end of a sentence or the end of the quotation the way we read it. I think it really would be good to keep that in mind.
Well, let's try it and see how it works. If we need to read another tercet, we'll say, let's read another tercet and go from there.
Good.
Just be adults.
It's fine with me. I'm relatively easy.
We'll figure out what's wrong with it as we do it.
How about if we have a
Okay.
director, one more tercet? If there's a
I'm
pause-
not going to be the director.
No, if there's a pause, someone can say it, another tercet, it doesn't matter who.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, one other thing, how about a division between those reading Italian and those reading English? Because otherwise we're gonna get in situations where the same person's reading the Italian and then switching to the English.
I can skip the English altogether.
yeah, I can skip the English altogether.
That's a good idea.
Okay, cool.
I think it'll be easier to keep the rotations straight in our minds if we do
Right.
that.
Let me make
Okay.
a little bit. So for those of you who might be watching this on video and wondering what in the world are those people talking about? What we're talking about is a new way of reading in which we are alternating between the Italian and the English, not in whole canti, but in tercets, much smaller units. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, just have confidence that we kind of think we know what we're talking about, and we're going to try it this time
Okay.
and see if the experiment works. All right. So Ann Doyle, if you'd be kind to take the Italian readers out of the English reading.
What?
Okay.
Mhm.
And then whenever you're ready, AJ, whenever Ann's ready, you can start, AJ.
Yes.
And AJ, you can make the decision about how much Italian you're going to read.
I'll start with 3 tercets and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
And that, we're not stopping at a sentence, the end of a sentence.
That's okay.
Just 3 tercets.
Okay.
We're going to try it.
We're all going to be flexible here. And then
I hate
after
to
we
be
have some
flexible.
experience, we might be able to make a more rational decision.
Look
Might.
at us branching out and trying something new.
Oh my God.
Shall we?
Mhm.
Paradiso, canto 19. Parea dinanzi a me con l'ali aperte, la bella immagine che nel dolce frui, liete facevan l'anime conserte. Parea ciascuna rubinetto in cui raggio di sole ardesse si acceso, che nei miei occhi rifraggesse lui. E quel che mi convien ritrarte steso, non portò voce mai, né scrisse in costro, né fu per fantasia giammai compreso.
Now, AJ, was that 19? Did you say Dice Nove? Or was it 18?
I think she's
18.
reading.
That was
18.
19.
Or are we reading
No, no, no.
19?
AJ did not read from 18.
No, that was 19. She said Dice Nove.
Yeah, that was 19.
You muted.
Okay.
What should I be reading?
I don't know.
18?
Okay. I'll make
We'll
an
read-
executive decision here.
We're going to keep with 19.
Let's go to 18
Okay.
18. Okay.
and start the reading again, AJ. And read your 3. And then we will read the English. And then we will see if we have something we want to discuss within that framework.
Okay. Starting again.
18.
18. Già si godeva solo del suo verbo, quello beato, e io gustava lo mio, temprando col dolce l'acerbo. E quella donna che Dio mi menava, disse, muta pensier, pensa chi sono presso a colui ch'ogni torto disgrava. Io mi rivolsi all'amoroso suono del mio conforto, e qual io allor vidi negli occhi santi amor, qui l'abbandono.
Okay.
Now was alone rejoicing in its word, that soul beatified, and I was tasting my own, the bitter tempting with the sweet. And the lady who to God was leading me said, change thy thought, consider that I am near unto him who every wrong disburdens. Unto the loving accents of my comfort, I turned me round, and then what love I saw within those holy eyes I here relinquish.
Okay. That seems pretty straight ahead.
Mhm.
Any questions about that? He's nervous, as he always is. And Beatrice tells him, take it easy, buddy. It's going to be okay.
Mhm.
Well, he's just heard his future told.
Mm.
From Cacciaguida. Mhm. Okay, good. Yeah, now was alone rejoicing in its word, that soul beatified, and I was tasting my own, the bitter tempering with the sweet. Right? Okay.
What canto are you reading, Duncan?
18.
And you're reading the fourth?
No, he's just going
Verse?
back over the first three. That was the first one. Soul beatified.
So now you're reading in Italian, Duncan?
Well, we read the first three tercets in Italian, then we read it in English.
Okay, so now we're on the next three tercets.
No, yeah.
So that's Italian now?
It would be Italian now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's you.
And I'm okay. All right, let me go to the Italian. Non perché per del mio parlare diffidi, ma per la mente che non può ridere sovra se tanto, se altri non la guida. Tanto possio di quel punto ridere che rimirandole lo mio affetto libero fu da ogni altro disere finché il piacere eterno che diretto raggiava in Beatrice dal bel viso mi contentava col secondo aspetto. Okay, I'm stopping there.
Tim.
I guess that's me. Now, not only that my language I distrust, but that my mind cannot return so far above itself unless another guide it. Thus much upon that point can I repeat, that her again beholding my affection from every other longing was released, while the eternal pleasure which direct rayed upon Beatrice from her fair face contented me with its reflected aspect.
He has the same problem that he had when he started Paradiso in how to express himself for what he's going to see. I think basically is what he's saying.
I think
His
it's also,
mind-
I think it's important that he knows that he needs a guide to go beyond his capabilities. And that he also needs to free himself up from attachments in order to concentrate on this next phase of conceptualizing, which is part of poetry.
And she's just encouraging him not to be concerned. He's doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
It brings us
And-
back to humanness, which kind of foreshadows the question that he's going to ask soon. And it's
Yeah, this is very much like a mother encouraging her child to try something new.
And it's also like Beatrice she's getting illuminated, let's say, from above, from heaven. And it passes through her and then it's reflected on him. And he's satisfied with the experience of her reflected light. But she's also turning him to say, you must find your own path, your own light, a reflection isn't good enough, let's say, or complete enough, or in depth enough.
And
Okay.
it's reflected aspect, which isn't looking upon it directly. It's looking at a reflection of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still basically sticking to my mother and child thing. That yeah, she does want him to be independent, but I think she also realizes that, he's not there yet. But she's kind of, go on, try it. It'll
Well,
be
it's
okay.
also beside the maternal thing. It's like someone who's experienced helping someone who's a novice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mother, child, teacher, student.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody who's a teacher knows that, the ultimate test is for the student to become independent.
Mm-hmm. And I think Beatrice is saying that paradise is not in her eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's above and beyond her. It's not in her eyes. It's another
Well,
another concept.
yeah, that's the next verse.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, but it says in
Yeah.
Longfellow one, turn thee about and listen. Not in my eyes alone. This is important. If Longfellow's, not in my eyes alone is paradise. So she is saying that there's paradise in her eyes, but
Mhm.
it's many other places also. So, okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Any other points? Or are we ready to go to the next?
Vincendo me col lume d'un sorriso, ella mi disse, voci te ascolta, e non por ne mi occhi e paradiso. Come si vede qui alcuna volta, l'affetto ne la vista se l'è tanto, che da lui sia tutta l'anima tolta. Così nel fiammeggiar del fulgor santo, a ch'io mi volsi, conobbi la voglia, in lui di ragionarmi ancora alquanto. Okay.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Conquering me with the radius of a smile, she said to me, turn thee about and listen. Not in mine eyes alone is paradise. Even as sometimes here do we behold the affection in the look, if it be such that all the soul is wrapped away by it, so by the flaming of the effulgence holy to which I turned, I recognized therein the wish of speaking to me somewhat farther. Next.
Okay, well, next is discussion. Okay, the first three lines there, which and not in my eyes alone is paradise, that's all pretty clear. Even as sometimes here do we behold the affection in the look, if it be such that all the soul is wrapped away by. Any comments on that?
So he turns and sees love on the scale of Beatrice's love in the angel who wants to speak to him. Am I reading that right?
I think so.
Say it again, please.
He has just looked into Beatrice's eyes and been blown away. And she says, no, 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 look further and listen. He turns around and he sees, it sounds like the same kind of affection, the same quality and the same magnitude of affection in the angel as he was just seeing in Beatrice.
By the flame images.
Do you think that's correct?
Sure.
I can see where you got there. I'm not totally convinced.
Well, the flaming of the effulgence holy is what he's looking at when he looks away from Beatrice. So he sees this holy effulgence, which I would read to be the angel. And that holy effulgence wished to speak with him.
Yeah, which is Kachgita.
Okay. So basically we have a thing here where we know that some entity wants to speak with him somewhat further.
Mhm.
And so the questions are, is it Beatrice that wants to speak with him somewhat further right now? Is it Cacciaguida?
Yeah,
Or
I
is
don't
it
know
some-
how we know it's Cacciaguida, but we do already. There's something that we
I think he points out to all the different some souls in Mars, and they form this cross. And then back in, I think it's in line 49, he joins them.
Okay, and that comes up.
That's how
that
we
makes
know it's
sense,
Peter,
yeah,
yeah.
with the next stanza.
I have it in, I thought it was in the first tercet, that Cacciaguida is the one who is referred to as the soul beatified.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, no, rejoicing in the word that soul. Oh, yeah,
he's the poet.
yeah, okay.
So he's the one who
Mhm,
has the words.
sure.
Mhm.
What is he was tasting my own. What's that? My own.
What line is that? Yeah.
The first tercet.
Okay.
The soul beautified, and I was tasting my own
So
soul.
What, yeah, sure.
I'm still trying to figure out where you're talking.
Right at the
Which-
beginning,
The first tercet. Now was alone rejoicing in its word. That
You're
soul
talking about the
beautiful.
first tercet of this whole content?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
okay.
18.
Then I need to get, I can't.
Now was alone rejoicing in
that
the
is-
word that soul beatified.
yeah, line
Yeah.
1.
Isn't that
Is
Beatrice?
tasting my own.
No,
No, Cacciaguida has stopped talking.
Cacciaguida.
But he's
So-
rejoicing in the words of Cacciaguida.
Right.
And
And
him
the-
reflecting on his own soul.
Mhm.
And like maybe his soul, the bitter in his soul is still there, it seems. And then Beatrice is encouraging him to disburden himself. He doesn't have to worry about his sins anymore.
It's just an archaic word order. It makes it hard to understand, but if you put a stop in the right place, it makes sense. So now was alone rejoicing in its word, that soul beatified. Stop. And
Period.
I
Mhm.
was tasting my own, the bitter tempering with the sweet. So there's a pause. It's almost a segue.
But it's
This whole-
also, it's like the tempering is his undeveloped poetic words. But the sweet is being exposed to someone who is more accomplished.
I think it's about his soul. That soul beatified, and I was tasting my own. I think he's reflecting on his flawed soul.
I think he's talking about tasting what Cacciaguida just predicted his future was going to be.
yeah, the foretelling of his
Yeah.
Foretelling where
poetic.
he is going to be banished. The bitterness is all going to be banished and going to be wandering in the world. but the sweetness is that ultimately he will receive his reward because he will create this impossibly great poem that will glorify God and everybody.
Yeah.
So
It really calls to the fore his humanness, that he's been in heaven all this time and he's still worried.
yeah, that's pretty human. Yeah, well, I can understand that. If I said, "Hey, AJ, listen, I got to tell you something. You're going to go through a lot of shit, and it's going to go on and on and on. But I guarantee you, in the long run, it is going to be great, and you are going to do some incredible work. So, don't worry too much about all the crap you're going to go through for the next couple of decades. It'll be fun."
Or thousands of years.
Or yeah, well, in Dante's case, hundreds of years. Here we are, 700 years later, going over his works and celebrating him. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't worry so much about being cast out of your hometown. Worry about the 10,000 years of being dust. It's going to be really boring. Shall we go on?
Yeah.
Where are we?
28, line 28.
28.
Okay.
Dal cominciò in questa quinta soglia dell'albero che vive della cima e frutta sempre e mai non perde foglia. Spiriti son beati che giù prima che venissero al ciel, fuor di gran voce, si cogne musa ne sarebbe opima. Però mira nei corni della croce, quello ch'io numerò li farà al lato che fa in nube il suo fuoco veloce.
Okay.
Okay.
And it began in this fifth resting place, upon the tree that liveth by its summit, and aye bears fruit and never loses leaf. Or blessed spirits that below, ere yet they came to heaven, were of such great renown that every muse therewith would affluent be. Therefore look thou upon the cross's horns. He whom I now shall name will there enact what thou within a cloud its own swift fire. Okay, this Mars and
Yeah, he's on the fifth ring. Well, it's the tree. The tree is upside down, let's say, and the roots are being fed by from above. And then the branches are in a circle, and he's on the fifth ring of the tree.
Nice.
Mhm.
And is that also a level of heaven?
yeah,
Mars, yeah?
it's the fifth Mars, yeah.
The fifth ring in the heaven of Mars, the heaven of Mars. Mhm. But it's an interesting symbol, isn't it? That the tree would be growing upside down, getting its nutrients from above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then also they're getting us ready for all the names of people in this level of heaven by saying they were of great renown on earth and have therefore ascended to this position. And I have read like that line 36 that it's lightning flashes, which the swift fire refers to lightning flashes.
Yeah.
Woo! I thought that's an interesting term too, the cross's horns. So that's the outreach arms of the cross.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
first
all of
three,
this imagery is going to get really, really.
Yeah.
the first three verses I can make sense of, but the third one I don't understand.
The third tercet.
Yeah.
Therefore look upon the cross's horns.
Mhm.
Him who I now shall name will there enact what doth within a cloud its own swift fire. So when he calls on that person on the cross's horns to say his piece, He'll become lightning. He'll
Oh,
become fire. So it's just something that a human would understand in heaven. It's not really lightning. It's just the light of that soul opening to speak.
Yeah, it really, Dee Dee, I can tell you that the imagery here is going to be quite fantastical
mhm.
and very, very detailed. It's almost like he's going to be leading us step by minute step. And you know those things where you see an image, and as you get closer to the image, you start seeing images within the image, within the image, within the image. That's where we're going.
Just one other thing is that word affluent annoys me somehow.
Okay.
Sarebbe prima.
It's about money.
Sarebbe prima.
You mean back in line 2025?
No.
Another word is enriched.
Yes.
In this other translation, I have enriched.
Yeah, the Italian
we're
word,
talking about-
Affluent.
Yeah, I don't even like enriched. It would be like, I wouldn't think that would be the word for the muse. It would be more
Opima.
appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your translation
Yeah,
In
in my spare time.
in your spare time, in between yoga poses.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
but
I'll think
to
about
me,
that.
to me, the understanding would be that you're a better person, or your status is a little better by having someone who has renown to be part of your
I think
experience.
it's simply a superlative.
Yeah, status makes sense. I would be interested
I
in,
don't think it has anything to do with status. I think you're connecting affluence with status. I don't think that's how.
no, I don't see, I don't.
Yes,
think
Are we
I
talking?
don't think affluence is status. I think status is respect, is appreciation for the spirit, the insight, the help that the muse.
Okay, so
gives
you're
to
talking 31 through 33, right?
Yeah, I think Longfellow may have
Yeah.
used that for its rhythm.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
let me,
love at Chiara or Max to say what the word was in Italian.
let me provide Derling and Martinez's. Okay, there are blessed spirits who below, before they came to heaven, had great fame, so that every muse would be richly furnished by them. So we're talking about a rich spirit. We're not talking about
Sure.
money.
Yeah, rich spirit, that makes sense.
Richly furnished by.
John, you're looking at, oh, you can't read the Italian. You are reading the Italian. So do you know that word?
not in Italian. I know it in Latin,
What's
and
Latin?
it doesn't necessarily mean wealthy. Rich in a
Furnish.
broader sense of the word. But yeah, I don't think there's any reference here exactly to wealth.
Yeah.
In our
My
day
diction-
and age,
Maybe-
affluent is a dirty word.
Maybe we
there's more
say this might be a stretch, but maybe fertile, because you can talk about like a fertile
Yeah.
imagination.
Sure.
There are other meanings of affluent too, according to the dictionary. One is flowing freely. Another is plentiful and abundant.
Fluent.
Beautiful, yeah, flowing.
And then
Affluent.
flowing, yeah. Yeah,
Just to take away that big money concept from my mind when I read that word.
and but that's a third definition, is wealthy or prosperous.
I know, but today, in this
Yeah.
day and age, that's an ugly word.
Yeah, I know, but
Can I offer you a lobotomy?
it's
Nope, I'm keeping the whole thing.
but We concentrate on it as being wealth, but it has other meanings is what I'm
Sure.
getting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we go on.
Think and grow rich.
That doesn't happen.
Okay. Are we on to the next set of Italian readings?
Yes.
Okay. And who's the reader? I think
You.
you're I'm the reader already,
Mhm.
Yeah.
starting with Pero mira nei coni della croce.
No, io vidi per la croce
37.
ritratto.
What line am I starting from?
37.
37. Okay. Io vidi della croce un lume tratto dal nomar Iosue, come il Cefeo. Ne mi fu noto il dir prima che il fatto. E a nome dell'altro Maccabeo vidi muoversi un altro roteado e Letizia era fersa del Palio. Okay, stop in there.
I have looked up some of the names of these people that are mentioned. I'll just quickly say Joshua was a successor of Moses who conquered the promised land. Maccabee was a Hebrew champion who delivered his people from the tyranny of the Syrians.
Mhm.
And let's see, Charlemagne is mentioned in the Chanson de Roland book, and he was a favorite romance figure in Western Europe, and he fought the Saracens in Spain.
Okay, so let's save the names. Let's we're gonna go up through
Yeah.
42 right now. So let's
Yeah,
save the
okay.
names that occur after that for then. But the main thing, these are a bunch of famous people that did
Yeah.
great things.
Okay,
Okay, so when now we
it's
have
Tim now. Tim was reading English.
Oh, already. I saw wait a minute.
all right.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's actually therefore gaze at the horns of the cross. 34.
Nope, 37.
34.
37.
I saw, as he pronounced the name of Joshua, a streak of light flashing across the cross. No sooner was it said than it was done. And at the name of the great Maccabees, I saw another whirling light flash through. The cord that spun that top was its own joy.
What about likewise with Charlemagne?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Then came
next
the
three.
names Roland and Charlemagne, and eagerly I followed those two lights as hunters watch their falcons on the wing.
Perfect.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And those are all crusaders, right?
Well, they fought for
Joshua's
something.
not, Maccabees
Oh,
is
no, I'm
not.
talking
Roland
about-
and
Yeah, some of them
Charlemagne.
were Old
Yeah.
Testament figures.
Two are Old
I'm talking
Testament.
about Charlemagne, Orlando, William. I don't know who Renauert is. And I'm thinking
Well-
those were crusaders.
Let's
Well,
read the next three until we have
Yeah.
all of the 9 listed, and then we'll talk about all 9. How about that?
Good.
Next 3?
Yeah.
That's you, John.
John.
Così per Carlo Magno e per Orlando, due ne seguì lo mio attento sguardo, come occhio segue suo falcon volando. Poscia trasse Guglielmo e Rinaldo, il duca Gottfriedi la mia vista, per quella croce e Roberto Guiscardo. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point because that's the
Names.
end of the
Yeah.
names.
So there's 8 heroes, and Cacciaguida is the 9th.
I'll go with it.
So Joshua,
2, 3, 4,
Maccabee,
6.
Charlemagne Orlando, William, Renoir, Godfrey, Guiscard.
Okay. William,
Who
Renaud,
are these
Godfrey,
people?
and we have Robert name, nickname Giscard. Is that correct? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. William Duke of Orange, she's in there somewhere.
So we've talked about Joshua and Maccabee. And Charlemagne was from the story of the Chanson de Roland. But then William in line 49. No, yeah, 49.
46.
48? Yeah, 46. Okay, so William is he was a Count of Orange and he was an epic hero. And Godfrey, the Duke Godfrey, was a leader of the First Crusade, which happened in 1096. And he fought the Saracens in Jerusalem, and he became the first Christian king of Jerusalem. And this Renard, he was a baptized Saracen who fought with William. And I didn't look up Guiscard.
He's 11th. He's a Norman and recovered or gained parts of Sicily and southern Italy.
Right.
From the
Oh,
Muslims.
Saracens. Saracens seems to be a general term for against
Muslim warriors.
Muslim.
Mhm.
Yeah, in one short note, it says of the 8 heroes, 2 of them are from the Old Testament times. 6 are heroes in wars against Muslims.
Mhm.
so Saracens are Muslims?
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
Okay.
So those are the Crusaders.
Mhm.
they're a specific type of crusader.
And that specific type is?
Against Muslims.
Oh, okay. Okay. As opposed to Albigensians and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the Crusades are it's a pretty broad topic.
Okay.
I think this is a bit specific.
Okay. Great.
So these other Crusaders aren't Dante's not looking at them.
Not at the moment, just these ones.
I think
And
he's building up to, go ahead, AJ.
Oh, he's specifically either in this canto, the one before it, or the one after it. Cacciaguida says, I have to give you the ones that people will remember, the important ones, the memorable ones.
Mm.
And I think he's building up to a record of the investment that has been made in creating Christianity, the power of the church.
Mm. Plus, all of these are in this level of the Imperium, specifically. So this this is Mars. So Mars is the fighting one. So that's why they're
right. That makes
Crusaders.
Yeah.
If they Justice would be in the next level.
In Jupiter.
Jupiter. And so these are fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are we? Reading wise.
We are on 49, I believe. We did right after the name of Robert Guiscard.
Okay, let's keep going.
I think it's my turn. Tim, did you read?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's AJ and then
Yeah, it's AJ.
Oh, yeah.
and then you, Sheila.
Indi, tra l'altre luci molta e mista, mostrommi l'alma che m'avea parlato, qual era tra i cantor del cielo artista. Io mi rivolsi dal mio destro lato, per vedere in Beatrice il mio dovere, o per parlare, o per atto segnato, e vidi le sue luci tanto mere, tanto gioconde, che la sua sembianza vinceva gli altri e l'ultimo solere.
Okay.
Then moved and mingled with the other lights, the soul that had addressed me showed how great an artist 'twas among the heavenly singers. To my right side, I turned myself around, my duty to behold, and Beatrice, either by words or gesture, signified. And so translucent I beheld her eyes, so full of pleasure, that her countenance surpassed its other, and its latest want. I think I just read the whole thing and I don't understand that last line. I just read other what?
She's even more beautiful than before.
You're even more beautiful than your picture. That was a
And that's
line in a high school play I had. So I can't.
What play is that?
Oh, it was a really trashy play, but I had to say it. I had to say it to one of the girls, and it was a challenging line for me because I would burst out laughing almost every time.
Uh-oh.
But
Oh,
see
when
that.
it came performance time, I did my duty and I did it straight.
So
Well,
Katrina
this is-
started. I think it's that simple.
Yeah,
Well,
Sheila, let me read those last three lines. In a different translation, Durling. So this is the last three lines that you weren't sure of. And I saw her eyes to be so bright, so joyous, that her expression surpassed her former and her latest custom.
Here's another translation. New brilliance in her eyes, such purity, such ecstasy. Her countenance was now more beautiful than it had ever been.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
getting better.
So
Getting
there's
better.
another
Well,
segment
yeah.
with Beatrice's eyes. Because this ends the visit to Mars and he's about to go to a new level, which is in the next tercet. I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
Yep.
But I think part of it is one, she's looking at these heroes, and the other is that she's getting the impression that maybe this guy Dante is going to become independent. Maybe he's showing some signs, and I don't have to mother him all the time. Any more comments before I go on and read the Italian?
I have a note that says Dante seems to be the first medieval writer to use the term artista, artist, in a generalized sense. It's a
Okay.
pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm. All right. I will continue. E come per sentire più dilettanza, bene operando, l'uomo de giorno in giorno, si accorge che sua virtute avanza. Sì, m'accors io che il mio girare intorno, co cielo, insieme aveva cresciuto l'arco, veggendo quel miracolo cui adorno. Okay. English.
I think it's my turn. let's see. And as by feeling greater delectation, a man in doing good from day to day becomes aware his virtue is increasing. So I became aware that my gyration with heaven together had increased its arc. That miracle beholding more adorned. And such as is the change in little lapse of time in a pale woman, when her face is from the load of bashfulness unladen.
Okay, great.
Mm.
Okay. So in my mind, anyway, this confirms my feeling that one reason why Beatrice is becoming brighter is because she realizes that her child or her student is actually becoming at least a little bit more aware and independent.
Yeah, I have a note that confirms that. The implication of these lines for the nature of the ascent is noteworthy. For the happiness of growth in virtue derives directly from the growth in intellectual self-possession, another instance of the primacy of intellect. So yeah, he's growing up.
Mhm. And then I also have a note on this change from the pale woman and the bashfulness unladen. It's the change of red light of Mars which is the fifth star of Mars to a white light.
Justice.
Jupiter.
It's a change from red light to white light, which is the difference between Mars and Jupiter.
Mhm.
And Jupiter is next to Saturn.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But it's just a metaphor.
Okay. That's great.
And an actual changing of the light, though. It's not just a metaphor,
Mhm,
because Mars is red and Jupiter is white.
right.
So
Okay.
it's also
astronomers,
a
yeah.
sign of movement.
Thanks.
Next
It
Italian.
says, may I read one more little bit of this note? It says, until this
Yeah.
point, the transition from Mars has taken place in terms of analogies with earthly events of a certain intimacy. The gazing into a lady's eyes, the observation in a small social group of ladies passing blush. And it says now things change dramatically.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Is it me again?
No, it's John.
I think it's John. Mhm.
Tal fu negli occhi miei quando fui volto per lo candor de la temprata stella, sesta che dentro sé m'avea ricolto. Io vidi in quella jovial facella lo sfavillar dell'amor che li era, segnor agli occhi miei, nostra favela.
Ah, what lines are you reading, John?
70, around 70, 69, 70.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry.
You got that.
66.
I started at 65.
Yeah.
No, at 60, I started at 67.
67, 72.
67, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Such was it in mine eyes when I had turned, caused by the whiteness of the temperate star, the sixth, which to itself had gathered me. Within that jovial torch did I behold the sparkling of the love which was therein delineate our language to mine eyes. And even as birds are risen from the shore, and in congratulation over their food, make squadrons of themselves, now round, now long.
Do one more.
Right? Okay. So from within those lights, the holy creatures sang, flying to and fro, and in their figures made of themselves now D, now I, now L.
Why not do the period one more verse.
What do
Okay.
you want?
As long as they're singing, one more verse about the singing.
For singing they to their own music moved, and one becoming of these characters, a little while they rested and were silent. And then we're going to Pegasus.
So we're on between 67 and 81.
Yeah.
I like the symbol of the birds rising and going into formation and then settling down. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the D and I and L is from the first sentence of the Book of Solomon.
Okay.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That is quite a dramatic change. Birds rising, singing.
So like a flock of birds making letters. That's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
so first they made a cross, and now they're writing. And I think in 19 they become an eagle that speaks. So they're kind of
Mhm.
putting on a really good show.
The first words in the Song of Solomon.
I think that's what it
Wisdom.
said.
It's supposed to, I think, Book of Wisdom.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Isn't it?
I don't have the Hebrew Bible.
It says they're to be imagined in the form of 14th century Gothic display capitals, those of a famous biblical phrase admonishing rulers, to be followed by even more spectacular effects.
It's between lines 91 and 93 is the reference in the,
Aha.
it's in Latin, but it translates to love righteousness, ye that be judges on the earth, or judges of the earth.
Yeah. Wisdom. Correct.
Mhm. And then of that phrase, the last word is teram, and then that last M is the one that comes up later on about the various
The three
transformations of the letter M.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what changes into the eagle.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Diligitum iostitiam. Mhm.
So we're at line 82 to 84, right?
Mhm. 82 to 84. Mhm. Hold on. I need to get right.
Pegasus.
Yep.
Mhm. 82. Okay, so I believe it's back to you, AJ, is it not? Or is it John?
No, I just went.
O diva Pegasea, che l'ingegni fai gloriosi e rendili longevi, ed essi teco le cittadi e regni. Illustrami di te, sì ch'io rilevi le lor figure com'io lo concette. Paia tua possa in questi versi brevi mostrarsi dunque in 5 volte 7, vocali e consonanti, e io notai le parti sì come mi parver dette.
I love hearing you read that. That is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was excellent.
Mhm.
Who's English?
It's you, Tim.
O divine Pegasia, thou whose genius dost glorious make and render it long live, and this through thee the cities and the kingdoms illume me with thy. Wait a minute, I want to read this other one. 82. O sacred muse of Pegasus, who gives glory to men of genius and long life, as they through you give it to realms and towns. Let your light shine on me, that I may show these letter shapes of souls fixed in my mind. Let your power show through these few lines of mine. They showed themselves to me in 5 times 7, vowels and consonants, and I was able to understand the written words they formed.
Mhm.
So what translation did you just read, Tim?
Let's see. This is Penguin Classics.
And the translator is?
Let's see. I don't remember where it is here. Penguin Classics. Oh, dang. Oh, here it is. I got it. Mark Musa.
Oh, okay.
How do you spell Musa?
Musa.
That was a nice reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agree.
it doesn't have all that archaic stuff that drives me
Yeah.
nuts. It's really clear and
Straightforward.
translucent.
What I like about Longfellow is he really tries to match the Italian. So if you're trying to figure out what the Italian is saying, it's easiest with Longfellow. You get more meaning from the other translators, but you get closer meaning from Longfellow, I think.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Well, it's kind of wonderful to read both.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of like that we all have different ones and kind of can grab from where we need to.
Mhm.
I wonder why, is this like an invocation to Pegasus to help him write the poetry?
Yeah,
Is that what it's doing?
yeah, Pegasus, supposedly the winged horse, touched down and created a
Oh yeah,
spring on
in
Mount Helicon that was sacred to the muses.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
divine Pegasia is just a way of saying muse.
Mhm.
So
I
and
don't
that
know.
every one of
The
the
reason,
times
the
is
reason
really-
I asked John is because in Paradisio 1, he's already had an invocation to Apollo. So I was just wondering why Apollo lost his job.
Uh,
I-
I have a note. It says the grand upsurge of the invocation derives from the idea of the light of the great winged of the flight of the great winged horse as that of poetry, mirroring the flight of the bird-like souls.
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's right. Pegasus flies.
He's doing twice.
Winged
Mhm.
horse.
Yeah, it keeps us looking up. I like how he physically describes that they do a letter and then they pause, and then they do a letter and then they pause.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually simplifying right now to make it understandable. There's a muse. Everyone can agree that this is a muse and it flies. And they're spelling out letters and this is how they're doing it.
Yeah. And the invocation to Pegasus in the translation that I have in front of me is, illuminate me with your light, that I may set forth their figures as I have conceived them. Let your power appear in these brief verses. And this whole thing about where they showed themselves then in 5 times 7 and consonants, and I noted the parts as they dictated to me. I'm almost confident that there is a number mysticism buried in that,
Okay.
in those lines right there. I have no idea what it is, but you know,
It's an
And which line?
alphabet.
In which lines? The 5 by 7?
88, 89, and 90. They showed themselves in 5 times 7 vowels and consonants.
And they were,
Well,
it was an alphabet and their spelling. And he read them. I observed the parts as they seemed
5 is, I'm sorry,
spoken
but 5
unto
is the
me.
human number. And 7 is the number of completion. And I think 12 is the number of completion, spiritual completion, and 7 is the number of physical completion.
Okay.
And that's 5 times 7 vowels and consonants. So those are kind of
Right.
meant to be the vowels and consonants about the spiritual completion.
And
We
5
talked-
plus 7 is 12.
Yeah, and then we talked about this Latin translation of the first 3 letters DIL from the Book of Wisdom, diligent. It's in the next section, but I counted the number of letters and the vowels and consonants, and it's 35 in that translation. That
Maybe just
quotation.
making sure that they use an exact quotation as opposed to, because that's high, what would you call it? High art, high words, not
Vernacular.
not vernacular. So he's been in vernacular this whole time. So maybe he just wants to make sure that if they're referencing this, that they'd reference the original source and use
The
the high poetic language.
Praising, singing about how the words came to him.
What is the translation of the Latin?
Okay, yeah, I have it. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth.
Love justice, you who judge the earth. And that is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha.
Does anyone know anything about that? I don't know
Well, the
enough.
Apocrypha are the books that did not make it into the approved Bible.
Why?
Well,
Because
there was I don't know if some was it Trent or Kent or something, some body decided which books were going to be in the Bible and which ones were out, weren't going to make it. I don't know. That's a whole, I don't know. John, do you know anything about that?
Only what I can remember from long ago. It was one of the one of those church councils that determined which books would.
Council of Trent, something like that.
That sounds right,
you're both
but
right.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, let me read this short paragraph from Barolini. The souls of heaven of Jupiter engage in a kind of divine skywriting, taking the shape of letters for Dante to read. The letters spelled the first verse of the Book of Wisdom attributed to Solomon. Solomon, we recall, was the 5th soul of the first circle of the heaven of the sun, celebrated for his prudenza regal prudence, the specific type of wisdom appropriate for a king. The verse from the Book of Wisdom that is written in the sky in Paradiso 18 was considered a commandment for rulers. Diligite iustitiam qui iudicatus terram. Love justice, you who ruled the world or ruled the earth. End of paragraph.
Thank you. Shall we move forward?
We shall move forward.
What,
We need to keep in mind.
Rick, would you read that again? The
Diligite iustitium qui iudicatus terram. Probably John can do a much better job of that than I.
Yeah,
But your translation,
So I get the D and the I. Where's the L?
diligent, the first word.
Oh, DIL. Oh, okay. I get it.
DIL. Okay. We're approaching the 30 minutes after the hour.
Oh, that one fast.
It went fast. Yeah, and actually, I'll give a brief summary, which we will do again, which is the experiment has been quite successful, I think,
I think so.
Yeah.
in a number
I
of
think
different
so.
levels. It's going to be hell on anybody who's watching the video, but
All three people?
for the internal participants, it's great. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I
and
like it too.
from a
Like it.
selfish point of view, I have to say, reading 6 or 9 lines in Italian rather than trying to do 30 of them and fatigue starts setting in. I think I maybe read a little bit better.
Yes. Yeah.
Fatigue is where the learning
Thank
happens.
Fatigue is where the learning
You
happens.
sound like a football coach.
The football of words.
It seems to
Okay.
me if the people
let's
watching have the
see.
book, they'll like it just as much.
I think they will as well, because when you read the whole lot, you're inclined to forget what could be really important.
It goes
So,
fast.
And then when we discuss, we go all over the place.
yeah.
Well, and I will say that I think there has been more participation by more people
Yeah.
in this than ever.
Right.
Mhm.
I think so.
And I think that's, and it's been really good participation.
And
So-
for anyone who's watching, you're welcome to join.
That's true. Easily
Good
done.
point, JJ.
Come with us as we ascend the levels of paradise.
Yeah.
Okay, I suggest we proceed on a little bit, but we are going to have to come to a stopping point in the near future for this session. So, who was the last Italian reader?
I don't know. I think it was me. So it's you, Duncan.
Oh, okay. Diligite iustitiam. Primae fur verbo in nome di tutto dipinto. Qui iudicatis terram fur sesae. Portia nell'emme de vocabol quinto. Rimaser ordinate, si che Giove. Pareva argento di d'oro distinto. Okay, English.
It's you, Sheila.
Diligite justiatum. These were first verb and noun of all that was depicted. Qui judicatus terram were the last. Therefore, in the M of the fifth word remained they so arranged that Jupiter seemed to be silver there with gold inlaid. And other lights I saw descend where was the summit of the M, and pause there singing the good, I think, that draws them to itself. That was 3.
That's okay.
Maybe another 3 here. Because they're creating a picture and I'm stopping halfway through. I'll
Go ahead.
keep going. Then as in striking upon burning logs upward, there fly innumerable sparks, whence fools are wont to look for auguries. More than 1,000 lights seemed thence to rise and to ascend, some more and others less, even as the sun that lights them had allotted. And each one being quiet in its place, the head and neck beheld I of an eagle delineated by that inlaid fire. And then the next is talking about painting. It's wonderful.
But this is where the the first M, the last M of the 5th word is the M symbolizes monarchy, and then the second version of it is a lily, which is the flower for Florence, and the third version, the topmost part, looks like an eagle for an imperial symbol.
Yeah, I'm going to, let me do a share screen here. Which, where are you? There we go. Oink. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
so there's your first, second, and
Three.
third
Mm.
as it transformed from, finally into the eagle there. And this is from Barolini.
Mm.
Okay.
But
So just-
each one is important. Each one is important, although
Yeah,
the M is transformed. Each one from monarchy to lily to
yeah,
eagle is
yeah.
important for the city of Florence.
Right. And I
And
think,
it goes higher.
I think this is where we begin our discussion next time.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Such a tease. Okay, what line?
Because we can't really do it justice.
Yeah.
And
No.
we still want to complete the whole canto before.
Yeah.
we
Let's
move
start
into
at
the-
line 97 next week.
Yeah, 97 to 108 again.
Okay, somebody make a note of that. I'm not always the best at keeping up with these things.
It's my bookmark.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. Okay. So once again, I congratulate all of you. Tim suggested that we try this more
Hello.
alternate reading. There was another suggestion from Sheila about, reading incomplete thoughts.
Oh, I like this. This was
We
fun.
kind of hit somewhere in the middle of all that.
Yeah, it's
And,
evolving quite nicely.
And I consider a very successful experiment, successful enough
nice
that we should
change.
continue with this next week.
I agree. It was
I'd
great.
like to say thank you to Sheila for the Barolini.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh,
How I will
I
try.
knew you would be excited. I
Thank you, thank you.
yeah,
wanted to see it happen.
It's quite dense, that book.
It is.
it's very dense.
You read it slowly, you
Very-
read it more than once, and your Italian will blossom. It's fabulous. I'm even learning a little Italian. A little.
Very exciting, very exciting.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to say it's been wonderful to be with you all.
It is.
Lots
Thank
of
you.
fun.
Okay.
I'm slowly but surely perhaps gaining an understanding.
Oh,
Goodbye.